day 6, but this is your financial wealth session. So I'm glad to see your faces here. This is going to be awesome. So my dear friend and accountant, Vanessa, will be jumping to joining us here, probably like what, 11:15. So I want to kind of quickly just chat with you ladies real quick on a couple thought processes before then Vanessa then takes it over on the financial side. We got a pen handy. I see Kate's got her pen. She's ready. Cheyenne, do you got yours? You're all good to go? Okay. So day 6. Here's some affirmations before we move into money talk. You deserve success. And I would write this down. I deserve success. I deserve to make the money that I need. I deserve. Money is a tool. Money's not an emotion. And I know I said this yesterday, but I still usually say it again because it's still about money. I deserve to feel safe. I feel safe. I feel secure. I know that everything I need is always taken care of. So I deserve to feel safe. I am safe. I am secure. And I know that deep down, everything I need will always be taken care of. It starts with your mindset first. And it doesn't have to be complicated affirmations. Just tell yourself certain things that you need to create capacity in your mindset to know that you can go from here to there. Like there's something in the deepest part of your soul that you know you deserve XYZ. And it's usually feeling safe, secure, money. People want to do business with me. I got amazing clients, right? I got great partnerships. This is all part of the money tree. And writing in those affirmations changes the mindset. It starts with you first. And then you get your accountant involved. Right? I'm like, this is such a heavy, and it's a discussion that needs to be had because I still feel as women, we're still not, we're emotionally attached to things, right? And this is what creates self-doubt, fear, nervousness, anxiety. Like there's a list. So if you approach money as more of a tool and that you know it's always going to be there, I'm going to be safe, I'm going to be secure, it creates a different stride as you move forward in your career. Now, I also feel you don't need to be pushing yourself to the max to also make money. You're going to work in seasons, and I would write this down. Things come in seasons. We are always ebbing and flowing. I don't believe we need to be like pushing, grinding. Remember, we've been talking about hustle culture all week. Ugh, like just say no to that stuff. It's not healthy. And then the next thing you know, we're no longer having fun. We've lost sight of ourselves, maybe our purpose. We start feeling conflicted, right? And I think we've been here. We've been here before. Good morning and welcome. We've already started, but just jump on in. Feel free to turn on your cameras if you like. I would also encourage you to write this if you have not done so. I feel like this is no longer taboo. Create some daily chants. Chant to yourself what you want. Upon waking in the morning, before I even like roll out of bed, it's like some breath work. I'm embracing that. Here's another gift today. I'm alive and I'm moving forward. How am I going to spend the day? What's coming up today? Where am I in there? And you don't need to take 2 hours unless you need 2 hours. But sometimes I call it like micro inserts throughout the day, micro meditations, micro chants, just to keep yourself feeling good. Using those gifts, right? We all got these gifts. I feel also too that what's in your heart, it doesn't need to be so complicated, but here's the thing. reevaluate your environment and or change the thermostat in your home. What does that mean? It starts with you. I remember hearing years ago at one point, especially if you have a family, even our animals run on our clocks, right? Women kind of control the thermostat of the home, let's be honest, right? So how we're feeling dictates everyone else. What we attract back, and you're wondering why things are chaotic because it might be you. So what's going on? Have a heart checkup. Roll in seasons. When things are low, take a break. Vanessa will cover this too. As an accountant, she's like, you don't need to be all in all the time. Don't need to be all in. She's like, there's got to be places for rest so you can actually have moments of like clarity and creation. And you need those things as a human. And to fulfill a dream, whether it's small or big, are we ready for it? It takes courage. It takes your community. You can't do this by yourself. It takes strategy. And it also takes working on yourself every day to allow that capacity to build. So again, you can move forward. So it takes courage, it takes your community, it takes strategy, and it takes working on yourself every day just to start moving that needle forward. Again, without sacrificing your wellness and your mental health. So with a little strategy, Vanessa will be taking over when she jumps on. Let's talk about getting our ducks in a row. Get those ducks in a row. Don't put them through the chipper. Let's get them in a row. Okay. Really sit down with yourself and look at your budget. How much money's coming in right now and how much money's going out. You don't need to know numbers right now, but I would just kind of make a little note. Do a little wealth assessment. This will bring us some tools. But for now, understanding like, have I been paying myself? These are questions. Remember, have I gotten organized with like actually separating business from personal with bank accounts? That's a major one. Get your ducks in a row from the start. Have we looked into utilizing online tools like QuickBooks for ease? Vanessa's gonna like really show you QuickBooks. Quick highlight of a few things that'll be of benefit to you. I'll probably be taking notes when she speaks because anytime Vanessa speaks, I'm like, ooh, good stuff. This is my accountant, right? 17 years of like wealth and knowledge. And she gets small businesses. She gets, you know, our type of business too. So this will be really great when she jumps on. Understand, as again, as a female business owner, you get access to lots of different lending, loans, and grants for being a female entrepreneur. Digital Main Street for the year 2024, they're still offering applications to apply for a $2,400 grant to put towards your business with tech and tools. So if you don't have that online booking tool, you don't have MailChimp, your email marketing together, I would Google Digital Main Street. I took advantage of that last year. But if you can get access to a $2,400 grant, would that be helpful? Probably. But there's tons of stuff always available and out there. And we talked about, you know, Alberta Women's Entrepreneur, Business Link. They're always sharing like what's up and coming and available for female entrepreneurs. So get on their email list. This is the side of get a little aggressive to know like what's available and what's going on. So it's not always coming out of your pocket, but it does take work because you will need like an accountant to help out with some financial statements pulled together, right? A few things to be able to apply to make it look like, yes, I'm legit. I swear, right? But you'll need to have those things in place in order to apply. So goes back to like figuring out your financials a little bit so you have something proper to show. Most of them might ask too if you're incorporated or if you're sole proprietor, but if you're sole proprietor, you can still have a business number. But these are things this is why I was like, you need to have financial people in your back pocket. I even was witness to a lot of my colleagues during the pandemic. They didn't have a lot of their things in order. And there was like a lot of pain, I think, that was going through because they were trying to navigate things on their own. And something like a pandemic was pretty disastrous to all of us, right? Especially in our business, personal services, where you can't touch people. Like, who would have saw that coming? Especially for weddings, for my business, who would have known events would get shut down? Like, what a weird time and a sad time all at the same time, right? But that affected tremendous amounts of people's income. And if they didn't have financials in place, it was hard to even just take advantage of the things that were available. But mind you, all that kind of turned around at a later point anyways, and all these banks wanted money back. So really, sometimes you're like, really? You work so hard. But this is why you have finance people. Because there's always wiggle room, this and that, loopholes, you name it. And everything and anything that I've ever needed, Vanessa's like, we're here to help. And you need people like that. I think we've had a strong emphasis on this all week, right? You need people in your corner. You can't be going about doing all these things yourself. So guess what you're adding into your budget now? Accountant. Somebody who gets small business too and can help you grow. Because when I first started, I was sole proprietor. And within a couple of years, Vanessa helped me get all my incorporation docs together, make sure we had everything in place, all that fun stuff. I paid a little bit more for that because I wanted to ensure that I didn't have any hiccups. And that CRA would come after me 5 years later and be like, oh, you messed up here. There's something missing. And then you end up paying for all those mistakes. I've seen that happen to several small business owners, and it's not a walk in the park, like at all. So making sure you have a few things in place, but it also starts with your mindset. So remember your why. How much money do you want to make this year? Write that number down. Be realistic. Covering the cost of XYZ to run a business, you're paying your bills, you're paying for rent, mortgage, everything. And here's a question. If something was to happen to you tomorrow and you can't work, A, will insurance help you? B, do you have 2 to 4 months worth of income sitting in your bank account if you couldn't work tomorrow? That's kind of a scary thought a little bit, right? Like, have a savings account that you just never touch and dump some money into. But that's what's kind of also going on in Canada right now. They're like, have like several months of income sitting in your account. So if something happens, we're doing okay. Or move to Mexico. Keeping it light. Right? But it's like, these are conversations that are hard and we need to have, and we need to sit down and you need to spend time on these things. Like maybe your finances is like every 2 weeks. I would write that down when I want to like actually assess and look at stuff. Is this happening every 2 weeks? Once a month? I kind of am like more close to like a weekly goal because I don't know about you. If my tasks are adding up a little too much, I get anxiety. So I know myself enough to be like, okay, I got to implement, So for Sunday, Monday is part of my little, just do a quick overview. How was last week? Great. Where am I going this week? Got it. Right? Because man, if like things I haven't looked at for a while start creeping up, I'm like, not sleeping. That's me. So it's good to kind of have these things kind of in place. So budget, take a peek at stuff, supplies, covering bills, like be realistic. How much money would you like to make? Kate, did you have a question? Is that a hand up?
Yes. So I have kind of gotten ahead of that and started getting really control of my finances because I learned that I have ADHD in November and I am an impulsive spender. So I was definitely buying like a lot of beauty supplies, but I wasn't bringing as much money in. And so even just for myself personally, I have really been sitting down and doing financial advisor meetings every like just before payday, so I know where all my money is going. And then I just
Good.
started saving up in savings. Like I have it divvied up into categories like what is for gifts for family, what's like business, what's going of the business, like what's courses versus supplies versus how much am I bringing in. Like it money is the hardest thing I think to really talk about, especially as women. And it's one of those things that once we know where it's going, it is life changing. Like it just you once you can
Ugh,
see it, it like saves so
totally.
much mental anxiety where I hated it before. I hated knowing like when I got paid where my money was just gone. Like once bills were paid, it was that was it. And it was kind of like, well, I don't like looking at that.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, it could be like on the back end of like how we were raised, right? Like if there wasn't a strong emphasis on like how to actually like take care of your money. And if you only know what you know now, right? You're like, oh, I would have started this stuff earlier. It's the same too with investments. I felt like I had a later start in my 30s, right? Getting my money to work for me while I'm not working. Like that was another goal because unfortunately, I feel oh, sorry, one second. My accountant's, yes, join us. I feel we're also not taught as women about how to properly understand like the stock market because they use like big jabble words that you're like, what? And so it's still kind of like a boys game, right? And I'm like, no, 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 we got to change the needle on that too. We got to change the pulse on that. She's saying she's here, but I don't see her. We see, no, we don't see anybody trying to come in. Hang on. Oh, there she is. Seems like technology's a little slow on a Saturday. There she is. But yeah, I'm with you, Kate. I think it's good to like, yeah, like have things like so segregated and who cares? That's for your benefit moving forward. I'm like that too. Very like, and I want to do another whole cleanup, just given everything that I've been kind of going through these last 3 months. So this way, moving forward, I'm like, I have a different game plan again. And you feel safe, you feel secure, all these things. There's Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I think your mic is still off. Yes, it is. You'll just have to click it.
Happy Saturday.
Nice to see you, love. I love it. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. I wasn't sure. I was like, am I here or not? But I made
There
it,
was
girls.
like a delay, I think, with your name popping up on my end. And so I think
Yep.
that's what was going on. But we got you started. But welcome.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Thank you for
We've been
having
kicking it
me.
off with a little bit of mindset and just some easy stuff. Kate was just sharing a couple things, but everyone's excited to hear
Nice.
from you. And I was already saying to everyone, you've been in my back pocket literally now for over like 10 years.
Yes, it's
Every
been a journey.
transition, everything I've gone through, I'm always like, Vanessa.
It's a journey. It always is.
100%. But I'll let you
Yes.
introduce yourself and
Okay.
then we'll just take things nice and slow and you can kind of like, yeah, do your
Okay.
thing because I know you have lots to
Absolutely.
share.
I'm
Wonderful.
just I'm just going to talk about life from my perspective. Hi, I'm Vanessa. I own S&J Management. I've owned it for 17 years. I started back in 2007. Just to kind of rewind back my life, I was a teenage mom with two little babies that I love so much. Um, and that might resonate in the aspect of that hustle that we have to do and succeed in this life and try to make it ahead. So I started my company in 2007. And so from there, we expanded our business in 2018 into Kelowna. So currently, I have two accounting firms, one here in Okotoks, Alberta, and one in Kelowna, fully staffed. And I love them. I just wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it with my team. They allow me to be creative let me redirect, and then they go, what are you making us do, Vanessa? But that's what we've created, is we've created a baby, essentially, something that we can redefine ourselves and make it through. So I see my business as being a baby, essentially, because it's a separate entity that we can create. But if we also ignore, it'll throw a tantrum at us. It will be very, very difficult to handle. And then it just isn't fun anymore. It really isn't fun anymore. So, we have to love, nurture, we have to raise them. We're always having to step up to the plate to kind of do better. And our businesses, I find that my business and business itself is a reflection of ourselves, because we're creating it. So as we grow as human beings, our business is going to grow in the eyes of how we want to see our child grow and nurture and what they want to become. Also, obviously, utilizing, because we have the power for that. So also utilizing the vehicle that we've created. Being able to kind of grow it and then utilize for our future, and what do we want to see in our future as business owners. It gives us the power to not only build our future, but also create it in a way that we see it. And I think that, when I started my business, it was really just to pay the bills. It was, I just got to pay this debt down. I got to live. I got to feed my kids. And as, the business grew, I became older and redefining myself. It was like, okay, what next? And so being able to know what you could utilize with your business and how to create that dream and that future that you're looking for. It's a powerful tool. Love what you do. Obviously that's my biggest thing. If all of a sudden you're not loving what you do, that's the redirect that I talk about. What is it that you love to do, and how do you create that within your business so that you're loving waking up in the morning? Because that's going to be a huge difference. Currently, I'm selling my house, and I will tell you, it's like dragging feet just to clean my house. But if you tell me, okay, get on a computer and we're going to hang out with some business owners like this is an amazing break. And I go, oh, this is a break to me. Because I love it. This is not a chore. This is not something that I'm dragging my feet. And so, in that concept, it's always love what you do. And when you find that you aren't, then learn to redirect from that. And with that, one of my favorite quotes, especially when I was opening Kelowna, and on a whim, by the way, was, luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So just be prepared. We are future thinkers, because that's the only way that we know which direction our business is going to go. And when we prepare and strategize, and I was talking to Trina, we've got the community, we've got the people around us, we've got our network of, for me, it's my professional partners. Don't try to take it all on. You've got the people around you to kind of help you through that. So just kind of being prepared. And I'm not sure the demographics in the room. So, I'll kind of start with maybe the new entrepreneurs, the last 1 to 2 years. Congratulations for coming on this side. It is not easy. It is not. It's kind of like it takes the wind, and every day it's like, am I doing this? What am I doing? It's scary. We got rid of a steady paycheck. We got rid of chasing somebody else's dreams. And now we have to create our own. And that's scary, because what do you do with that? Where is the direction in that? Where's the help through this process? So, you girls are my hustlers. I got to say, I look back 17 years ago and I was like, oh, that hustle. And I loved it. I tell you. But when I look back, I'm like, I don't know if I do that again. So you are in the midst of the recreation, which is amazing. It's not easy. Late nights, monkey brain is what I call. Sometimes you have to put that monkey brain on the shelf. It's okay to just be present. It's okay to be there for yourself. Take that day off. because tomorrow is going to be a whole new day. And your brain needs that break. It needs it to be creative. It needs it to be able to take it to the next step, is to really, really be there for yourself. Take that time, because it will take you away from your kids. It will take you away from personal life. It will take you from the things that you love. I think backing up from doing what you love, it's also amazing if you create it to be your hobby. You know how we love to do our hobbies? It's like, I'm gonna put this aside and do something I love. Create that in your business somehow. Like, that's kind of the biggest things, because that will help you through obstacles. There is always, I always say there's a level of stress with business. It comes with the territory. If we're dipping into the business world, we're always going to deal with a level of stress. So if we make it something we love, we make it a hobby, we create it in that mindset, then it just makes it more fun to do it, even if we hit the obstacles. And to back up from the obstacles as well, I always find that is such a great opportunity to redirect, to learn. Obstacles should never be looked as a negative. It really needs to be looked as a positive, like, okay, the universe just didn't want me there. I'm going to do here, because a bunch of closed doors just opens an amazing door, amazing door. And that's how I found it. I found it when I was in the direction I wanted to be, and things just kind of fell in your lap. And when it got hard, just take a step back, breathe it through, and it's an opportunity. It's not a negative, because that can get hard on you as well mentally. If we're going to be honest in this room, like, I've had many nights crying in my bed. I won't lie. I'm like, this is tiring. So it really is. But then you look back and it's like, thank you. Like, I'm really glad that door closed. So if you just really change your mindset in that type, because obstacles are always going to be there, tripping on your feet, and just being creative, try and keep trying. If this didn't work, try something else. There's always a way, you know. But again, utilizing the people around you, your partners, your people. I always feel like stick in your lane and then bring in the people that strengthen the areas of your business, and lean on them and work with them. You would think in accounting, for me, there's competitors everywhere, but there's no competition. There's always something I love and somebody doesn't love. There's certain softwares I like despise in accounting, and there's other people that love it. So it's like, okay, let's work together. There's always a team effort there. And when you utilize the team, it's just powerful. Power comes in numbers is another big thing that, I've learned through business. It's not, I can do this, I'm a woman, hear me more, or whatever. Like, there is a team of us here and we've got this together. So, being able to, bring that in. My wonderful Trina, I was listening to her last night, take strategy, courage, community, and continuously working on yourself, and just on repeat through all of that, and just keeping that mindset. I mean, coming from, I guess, accounting, business, that mindset, I would say the number one thing in the starting beginning is really understanding your financials. Us accountants will be like, oh yeah, I can do this for you. And then they never communicate to you and then they get to know more about your business than you do, which is absolutely not fair. So get in there, advocate for yourself, advocate for your business, what's going on, where's room for improvement. For sole proprietors, I would probably say, I'd be looking at a net income of like 50K. So after expenses, before you start thinking about incorporation. That's when you're going to kind of start seeing the taxes affect you. So kind of gauge that and watch that. And then obviously, if you're not a GST registrant, 30,000 will be your limit for that one. And then incorporation, I think the biggest ones with incorporation is understanding your shareholder. I think, and what does that mean? What is a shareholder and what does that mean? in the aspect of, just to kind of quickly summarize what a shareholder loan is, if you're not 100% sure, it's the money you're pulling out of your business. And it's the money personally that you're putting into your business. It is a back and forth effect. You take too much out of your baby, your business, then you're going to pay some personal tax implications. And then we've got some double taxation to deal with. So, really understanding the shareholder loan. If you're going to talk to your accountant, can you explain this to me? How can I make this better? That would probably be the biggest ones in incorporation, I find. With sole proprietors, you are your business. So that effect really won't affect you. But once you get in corporation, then that's one thing that I find that people neglect on. And then I have to tell them they have to pay a lot of taxes, and that really sucks. But vice versa, you don't want to see too many losses, right? You want to be able to say, in the next 3 to 5 years, I'm going to see profit and going forward profit, increasing every year, that type of thing, or at least seeing. I want to say, too many losses in the next 5 years. You want to analyze what's going on. How should I redirect? What am I spending? That type of thing. So just talking to your accountant, make them tell you, advocate for your business. No. I know you did my GST, but what's this say? How did I do in the last quarter if you're not doing your own bookkeeping? In the aspect of and the biggest thing, price yourself accordingly. I find that the new ones, they're just, and it's everybody will do it. You're just so excited about the new customer, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'll do that. yeah. But you're also detrimenting your success by underpricing your product or your service, and finding the confidence in it. Yeah, absolutely, I'm whatever an hour, or this is how much the package is, and just know your value, and it's okay, right? So doing your research on competitors, we're seeing price increases all over the place in the last 2-3 years. So it's okay. You need to be able to survive. We're all in this place together, right? So pricing yourself accordingly, I think, is huge, and knowing your confidence when you're saying, no, this is my cost, right? What's the saying? You get what you pay for. So it's huge. And the biggest thing is the confidence on, new entrepreneurs. Can I do this? Or fear of loss of the sale, fear of loss of the customer. But all your customers are out there. There'll be somebody that values you, and equally that you're valuing yourself as well. Some of the softwares, obviously my favorite one is QuickBooks. There's the desktop, but then also the online version. The online version has really come along. When it first came out, I was like, what is this? But it is coming along. If anything, because you'll obviously somewhat be sharing it with your bookkeeper or accountant, there are amazing features to be used yourself. Scan receipts are amazing. There's an email feature on there where you can just forward your PDFs or your receipts from your email, and then QuickBooks Online will take it up. So utilizing that is huge. It's huge for audits. It's huge for paperwork tracking, and then we get away from the old school shoebox. so that one, the mileage, I want to say is really important. I would almost make that one of the biggest importance. The way CRA likes to null and void certain things is they'll ask if you have a mileage log. So having QuickBooks Online in your pocket with that, it's GPS. You just turn it on, it just kind of follows you through. Having a mileage rate is huge, so they've got that as well. Just trying to think. Bank feeds, those are amazing. They'll come in. I would probably just say don't use the auto apply. There'll be a feature that says auto apply. Turn that off, because we can't just solely depend on a computer to bring in the information, and then it just becomes messy, and then you're just paying your accountant or bookkeeper more money to fix that. So don't turn that on. whatsoever. I think those would be like, I guess, my main ones on there, is to start with utilizing those. They do have invoices, and receiving payments with invoices that can streamline payments as well. So direct deposit for payroll is also a feature. Source deductions. You can also pay source deductions on your QuickBooks Online. And I think they'll be coming up where you can start paying vendors as well, which is super cool. But there's also so many apps that sync. Having too many softwares can get too cluttered and sometimes can hurt the brain a little bit. You really want to just kind of focus. If you've got a special inventory type software, for sure, because QuickBooks Online won't be something like MindBody, or even like Jane's are amazing softwares that I've seen, Jane apps. So, kind of keep it to the one or two, you know. But if you get kind of too many, then it just kind of gets convoluted, and too messy in the brain, and then you just don't even want to do your bookkeeping. And then that's that's even worse. Then you don't even want to sit down and deal with it, and then you're ignoring us, and that's never fun either. So for my seasoned entrepreneurs, the ones that have, the 5, the 8, the 10 years, you've been doing this for a while, I'm here on you. I've got you. Honestly, if you talk to the Vanessa 6 months ago, I'd be like, hustle, recreate, rebrand. And yeah, those are all great. Those are all great. But 6 months into the future, I'm going to say, check yourself, check in with yourself, listen to your body. You almost need to take a break from that hustle. And it's huge. You got to take, and it's almost like a mind break, and it's okay. If you feel like where your business is pretty kind of independent, or maybe you don't have to work on it super full time and at midnights and whatnot, those type of things, really separate yourself in your time. Just, I guess it's resonating with me. Just kind of an example. So I guess 6 months ago I was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, which is Graves' disease, which is a hamster on a wheel. So I'm always like this, and I'm not stopping. So, I've really had to learn to do that. I had to take 2 months off work. Thank God for my staff, my people. They allowed me to do it. I had to learn to cook. I had to learn to relax. I got into therapy. I got into meditation, to heal myself. And honestly, I would not have done it if my body wasn't screaming at me. And that's the way that your body will do it. If you don't give it the moment it needs, it's going to scream at you, because it's talking to you when you say I'm tired. It's talking to you when I'm like, I'm not well today. But when it's screaming at you, it will come out in some form, and we just have to check in, right? So I think that's my learning curve currently for me. And you know what? And then it'll just give you that break. So 6 months into the future, currently I've put it into a remission. So I no longer have Graves' disease. So I took that time for myself. So I just, like, looking back, I think that would probably be my biggest advice for the ones that have gone, especially 10 plus years, because it's tiring. It's tiring, girls. So, but we're hustlers. We got this. And I think, it's not like, okay, I'm just going to quit. It is like, how do I redirect in a way? What is my end game for this business? When you get to the 10 plus years, you really want to start to strategize what your end game looks like. It's either going to be selling your business, and how do I structure this to sell it? How do I structure my financials that a buyer is going to want to see it? Or it's going to be, how do I use this vehicle? I have this vehicle. I want to buy a house. I want to go on vacation every, 3 months. You have a vehicle to do that. And so how do I utilize this vehicle to give me my personal future? because now we've done it, we've built it. Our kids are, you know, teenagers and they're adults now, and it's like, okay, how do I now utilize this for my personal gain? Because we didn't do this for fun. We were doing this for personal gain, right? For whether it be independence, because we don't want to chase somebody else's dream, because we love what we do, but there's an end game at some point, and how do we want to use it to our benefit? I mean, alternatively, there's also giving yourself a job for the rest of your life. So, I mean, that could be somebody's end game. I'm not going to take away from what pleases you. So, whatever that might be, just know your end game and give it the time, because your end game is 5 years from now, 8 years from now. I'm not saying like, what's my end game today? You know, so for me, you know, I personally, what I when I was going through this like therapy in this moment for myself, I go, really, what is it that I want? So, you know, just to kind of share, for me, I love business and I love helping people. So I want to start investing in business, being silent partners, being in things that fulfill me and help those business owners succeed. And how do I do that? Right? How do I kind of step back from my active job and start doing things that I love from the back end? So really just kind of understanding and how to prepare. And those are things that you will want to talk to with your accountant, and how do I use this vehicle to get what I want out of it now? I've done the job, you know. Um, with that, it's okay to stop micromanaging. I was a huge micromanager, huge, if you ask any of my staff members. And really, it just puts more stress on ourselves. So, learning to delegate, it's therapy on its own. Learning to hand off work, again, using your community, strategizing. But take that load off yourself, and it's okay. It's okay to let go of your child. It's okay to let go of your baby to somebody else, you know. But the biggest thing is to be prepared for that. Strategize, get systems in place. What does the business model look like? And how do I train this business model for somebody else to take over for me? So there's a lot of kind of future planning in that aspect, depending on whatever stage you're kind of in. Again, knowing your financials. You know, I'm assuming if you've done this for 8-10 years, you understand the yearly financials and the signings and why do I owe and why don't I owe and that type of stuff. But I think, again, the biggest thing is for seasoned entrepreneurs, the ones that have been doing this for years, the biggest thing is understanding your balance sheet. Ask your accountant what the balance sheet says back to you, because the balance sheet is your history, is your present, and is also going to be your future. For investors, for people that if you want to grow that business to the next stage, if you want to sell your business down the road, that balance sheet is what they really look at. You would think investors look at income statements. You'd be surprised. It's the balance sheet that says a lot. Tax planning options, knowing your planning options, because that is what allows the freedom that you're looking for. What does this look like? You know, how do I use this vehicle to my advantage? It's a push and pull effect. If I just use a small example, I'm buying a house next year. I need X amount of dollars, my mortgage broker says. That tax planning can happen. And then when you buy the house the next year, drop it if you need to and pay less tax. You be able to push and pull year after year. If your accountant is saying, oh, we did dividends this year on repeat, they're not tax planning for you. I want options. Tax planning has options and it will change every year. And just know that. So, and then also understanding your retained earnings is huge for kind of the next phase of business on your financials. Again, depends on your end game. So everybody will be different. So I think for the most part, that would be like, I guess my biggest ones. Love what you do. You know, summarize, love what you do. It just makes this so much easier, less stress. I actually get dopamines off checking, like taking completed checklists. It's a dopamine. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. Like, even as little as that, it's like, I can have wine tonight because I did 3 things today. It's a dopamine of mine. So just love what you do. If you have a hobby, how do you create that in the aspect? If your mind works one way, how do you create that in the eyes of what you love to do? You have the ability. That's the fun thing about business. That's what I love about this is we can just be creative. We can do whatever we want and build it around the life we want to see. Um, Business and being an entrepreneur will always come with a level of stress. So take time for yourself. Huge, 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 huge. However, that is in your personal life. I used to always say, you should have stress in business and no stress in personal life, or stress in your personal life and no stress in your business. You can't have both. At some point, you need an outlet somewhere, and so that'll bump on love what you do. So if you're having a stressful personal life, at least you could be like, I'm going to despair work, At least then I'm like, okay, I'm happy here. And or flip flop. So you have to level the playing field on stress, but also your outlook on it is it's everything's an opportunity. It's not an obstacle. It's not a negative. It's just an opportunity to change, or redirect or think of something else or do something else. Advocate for yourself. It's going to be huge. Like I said, to your accountants, to your lawyers, to whoever you're dealing with in business. No, this is not what I want to do. No, that doesn't work for me. No, you're going to claim my financials. No. And if it doesn't work, move on. Like, really advocate for yourself is huge. Don't just depend on people being like, oh yeah, here, sign here, go away type of thing. Like, really understand what you've created and how it could work for you. Staying present, huge, huge, huge. Harder said than done, because as us entrepreneurs, we're future thinkers. So pick a present day. I usually say, where it's like, no, I'm present today. My brain's not here. I'm going to shelf that. My brain's not here. I'm just going to be here with whoever, my family, my whatnot. Because the only way that you can find homeostasis is through being present. That's my biggest learning curve. And trust me, I'm currently in it. So this is not coming from, I know it all. This is just currently the journey I'm in and what I'm learning. And keep hustling in the good way. Keep being creative, keep redefining yourself, keep changing. Change is where, you find that growth, so yeah. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions.
This was great, Vanessa. I took notes. Who took notes? I got so much stuff. All right. So this before you jumped on, like every time Vanessa has something to say, I'm like, this is great. I think there was a question or two. I saw a couple things popping up. Cheyenne had asked about which QuickBooks, accounting, self-employed, or workforce.
Ooh, those are good questions. So Workforce is attached to the QuickBooks Online payroll feature. So when you activate a QuickBooks Online payroll, you will get a Workforce where your employees will be able to pull pay stubs and that stuff. So they're kind of attached together. Self-employed, not a fan. Pay the extra, get an essential or a plus. I don't really, a plus might be like if you have inventory, if you have some job costing, some things like advanced the stuff you want to do, plus might be where you want to be. But I think essential covers all of it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what I've had for a while. Yeah.
Yes.
Covers a good chunk. Yeah.
Because they'll lock features like maybe pay bill or AP, or they'll just be features that are locked and you don't know they're locked. So you don't know the capability of how you can grow with your business. So you will be like essential will probably be the best. Yeah. Right off the bat, you can grow with that software.
Yeah, I think that's great because I think we had a conversation at some point too. Like you can sync your bank accounts and everything too right into the essentials, which is easy
Yes,
to track
yes.
expenses and all that fun
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I know they have come a long way
Yeah.
because I feel like it was only like 2018 or so that I was like, oh, finally, this seems a little user friendly, and then it's gotten
Yeah.
even better since.
Yes, yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, so essential, I would probably you're safe with the growth of your business. You don't want to be locked out and then not know you're locked from these features that are available to you.
So I'm gonna just jump on this because what is the umbrella company? Intuit? Intuit? Is that how you
Intuit's
say
the
it?
creator.
So they also own MailChimp. So if you guys are
Yes.
looking at email marketing with your MailChimp, I would ask for a package to help with getting MailChimp and then your QuickBooks together.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shows up then in your account statement as Intuit. Am I saying it right? Intuit?
Yeah, Intuit. I'm into it.
Yes, we are. But yeah, I would definitely reach out to that umbrella company because, as I said, they own a couple of those products. And then that way, maybe you can create like a package and a deal if you're thinking about that email marketing side too, because that all works together.
Yes. And I think
Yeah.
there's an apps feature on the
Yeah.
left-hand side of QuickBooks Online where it says apps.
Yes, there
And
is
then just
actually.
go shop in there,
Yeah.
see what they've got. They've got time and billing. They've got, obviously all the payrolls. They've got some
Mileage log,
inventory.
you were saying.
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
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 Which is good.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing I've been guilty of over the last year. I just stopped tracking mileage because Ty had
Yes,
asked me,
I
he's like, do you need
know.
mileage? And I was like, actually,
Yeah. I
after
could do
14
that.
years, I just decided to stop tracking mileage.
Oh yeah, I knew I
Write
forgot
that down.
something. Yeah. It's the one thing you always forget, and it's probably the most important when at a table. Like everything's based on sitting at a table of CRA, right?
Yeah.
So
I love it. And I think
Yes.
that's, yeah, some really, really good tips. Is there any other questions for Vanessa while we have her here? Want to pick her brain on a couple things? Was a good mouthful of information. That was amazing.
Awesome.
Well, this was great. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. Seriously, always such a pleasure.
Yes.
Krista also put in, if you kind of scroll to the top of the chat, she threw in Vanessa's accounting link. So you can kind of take a peek at their website. And if you need some services, she's always willing and available. She's got a team. Yeah, big team. Well, we'll let you go on your beautiful
Okay.
Saturday. Thank you,
Thank
beautiful. Love you
you.
so much. And I'm
You
sure I'll be
too.
talking to you really soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks for everything. Okay, take
Bye,
care.
girls.
Bye. Oh, amazing. You guys are like, hey, I have to go now, Trina, because I got things to do. I'm like, that'll be me this afternoon too, right? There's always stuff going on. Okay, this was great. Do you guys have any questions about anything that we were just talking about even before Vanessa jumped on? Do I need to clarify a little bit? No. So tomorrow we're coming back at 11 for a small Q&A. However, you can still book in for a one-on-one with me to chat about the program that's launching June 5th, which I'm excited about. So the early bird is still available until Tuesday. So there's still spots in my calendars, apparently. I'm running like multi-calendars. That's what it feels like these days in my calendar to book in for Monday or Tuesday. I still have some time slots there for sure. But money is a mindset. And your business is a mindset too. And I love how she covered exactly what we've all been talking about. What do we want? What's your end game? Right? And I'm in it too, because I've been wanting to, as I said, clean, detox, refigure some stuff out moving forward. Where are my gifts at? Where do I want to spend these next years to come? Right? Want to have a colorful future that feels good, not another year of blah, blah, blah. Right? And I feel like if that's kind of been you and you've been having some doubt and some confusion, then that's probably, this is your moment to be like, let's take that year and plan some stuff out. Ooh, Rouge. Hi, love. Do you have a question?
Oh, yeah. I was just wondering, I actually missed the name of the grant that you told me, like in the beginning.
Oh, the grant.
Yeah.
Digital Main Street. Google
Main
them.
Street.
Yeah,
Okay.
Digital Main Street. like Sesame Street.
Okay.
Remember that show?
Yep. I grew
Digital
up on
Main
it.
Street.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you go right to their website, it should say right there. And if I was you ladies, I definitely would fill out the pre-application form to see if you're even like pre-approved. Just even take a peek at that because they'll ask you some questions first. And then they'll say yay or nay. And then you go to the next level.
Okay.
But you'll need your accountant because you'll have to pull together some financials. I had to. It wasn't strenuous, but I did have to have a couple things. And then you'll just have to provide maybe proof of website, but I don't know. I did this like over a year ago, so it's hard to say like what they're asking for now versus like even just then, right? But yeah, if you also get on Business Link and Alberta Women's Entrepreneur, they always have different things that they're pumping out for grants available for female entrepreneurs. Anything else? Can I help anybody with anything? No? I love it. Yes, Kate.
I think one question I would be interested in knowing is when are you looking for insurance? Like, I mean, I know you kind of always want to be covered, but when is where you incorporate, I guess, a certain level?
Are you talking about a corporation or insurance?
Insurance, like for a sole proprietor, and I'm
So-
going to go out.
Yeah. So you can get insurance anytime. And my rule of thumb, I feel, just because again, I like to feel safe and secure. So I'd like to have my insurances in place as soon as I know I'm working. So if you're going to clients already, you're touching people, that's probably a good indication to probably get some insurance together. And then you can worry about like the structure and setup of the business to come, like when you're going to incorporate all that fun stuff.
Where would you go? Like, are you looking for like a Westland Insurance, or is that
Yeah, like I would actually just Google Alberta, what am I trying to say? Alberta commercial insurance brokers. Like you can go to, you know, AMA. They do like a lots of like stuff too. You can probably just pop in like any Alberta registry, but I think if you just Google, I like dealing with an actual person because they'll ask you questions and an actual form. And then remember I was saying this before, like don't hide anything. Be like, this is my business map out. Like if you're in a classroom and then you're here and you're there, like don't leave anything out. Tell them like, this is what it is, right? And then that way you'll get a proper quote for the year. So I'll be honest with you, my insurance for the year that covers everything about Trina Lane and me is like usually around $650, $700 for the year. Whereas like AMA, they don't give you access to small insurance companies that are also available. That's why I like a broker, because at some point I was paying like $1,900 to $2,000 a year through AMA. That's not reasonable. If it's just you and like maybe just a couple contractors, but even then I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So I would Google there. There's quite a good couple companies out there. Like the broker I use, Insureline. And their website's easy to use because you can just fill out a form. Someone will reach out and get you kind of rock and rolling. But I feel like if you're touching people, Kate, Cheyenne, if you got your setup, you got people coming over, get your insurance in place before anything else. 100%. You want to make sure everything's taken care of. And maybe do a reassess too on your like your personal insurance. Again, if something was to happen to you and you got injured, are you covered? I feel like as I said, I'm like in a whole season of like detoxing and cleaning some stuff up on my end. So moving forward, right? But I mean, if I had a broken foot, I would still be able to do this. I just probably wouldn't be able to go do someone's wedding. I could, but they'd be like, oh God. Right? So insurance first and foremost for sure. But tomorrow for the Q&A, we can cover a few things there and just take like a quick bit of time to even talk about some more stuff there too, just to kind of wrap up day 7 and our whole masterclass week together. It's gone by a little too fast. But it is already 12:01. And then in a few minutes, I have a meeting actually with Kate. So I'm going to let all of you go. Thank you so much for today. This was great. Thanks for being here. It's good to see your faces, and we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Bye.